The oldest house. Control. From the street, it's a blank slab of concrete. Inside, it's architecture with opinions. Headquarters of the Federal Bureau of Control. The oldest house isn't merely a building, it's a reality editing structure. It chooses who can notice it. It keeps what it wants. A brutalist skyscraper that shifts when unobserved. Floor plans go stale. Corridors realign. Whole departments vanish behind thresholds. Tears into other realities. The house nests objects of power and altered items. Mundane objects infected with impossible behavior. The service weapon binds a director through a pact in the astral plane with the board. The hotline dials across dimensions. The Ocean View Motel appears like a save room between worlds. Ring the bell, solve the pattern, unlock a door that shouldn't exist. Exposure scrambles language and will. Victims float, humming. The hiss has rewritten their voices, then their thoughts. Gravity becomes suggestion. Memory becomes draft. You aren't killed, you're versioned. A security wing hangs midair, desks spinning like planets. Down a sterile hallway, the motel's bell waits. 3 rings, a clicking lock, a key to a room that didn't exist a second ago. The house sometimes lets you leave. Sometimes it files you. Promotions are metaphysical. Ascend, and the director is both person and position, held together by a weapon that refuses the unworthy. It acts like a government office because it is one, just not ours alone. Policies are rituals. Signatures are bindings. Paperwork is a kind of spell. When departments go off-map, agents don't search. They negotiate with floor plans. You don't haunt the oldest house. It haunts you. And when you step back onto 52nd Street, you feel that echo, like a door in your head just reclassified your memories. A selective living labyrinth that opens thresholds to the astral plane, houses oops altered items, and spreads the hiss. It chooses perception, rewrites space, and binds its director through the service weapon and the board. Yharnam and the Hunter's Dream. Bloodborne. Yharnam looks like a cathedral that forgot where the ground ends. Streets stacked on streets. Spires drilling the sky. Everything wet with old blood. A Gothic city built on a blood miracle. The healing church promises cure. The city answers with hunts. Beneath the cobbles, Bergenwerth secrets, tombs of the great ones, and doors that open only when you've seen too much. When you sleep or die, you wake in the Hunter's Dream. A manicured garden outside reality, tended by Gehrman and the doll. Blood is technology and temptation. It heals. It changes. It remembers the ocean, kos, and kin. Your insight is currency and curse. The higher it climbs, the more the city reveals. Lanterns become waygates. Invisible amygdala resolve on the walls like spider gargoyles you somehow missed. The moon phase governs the hunt. Under the blood moon, Yharnam's truth tears through its costume. The hunter's mark binds you to a loop. Wake, hunt, learn, die, repeat. Too little insight and you stumble blind. Too much and you hear the choir. Frenzy rips your brain like static. The old blood pushes you toward beasthood. Limbs remembering the animal they evolved from. Your body holds, then doesn't. Your mind holds, then doesn't. Yharnam doesn't kill you. It converts you into meat, myth, or midwife for a great one. A hunt night emptied of people, yet watched from every window. A bridge under moonlight where Father Gascoigne forgets his name. The nightmare of Mensis. A brain, enormous and praying, and your sanity evaporating like fog. The doll's hands gentle, lowering your weapon like a ritual blade. There are exits, but none are clean. Submit to Gehrman and wake into morning. Memory thinned, city unchanged. Refuse, and the moon presence makes you the next caretaker of the dream. Transcend, and you molt into something small, soft, and terrible. An infant great one blinking at a world now too simple to fear. Rituals are contracts here. Prayers are experiments, and the only map that works is the one drawn on the inside of your skull. Lands between and the Frenzied Flame. Elden Ring. A golden world cracked like an egg. Grace points the way. The Erd Tree blocks the sky. The lands between are a continent ruled by the greater will, a cosmic order mediated through the Erd Tree, the Elden Ring, and its envoys, the Two Fingers. After the shattering, power fragments into demigods and wars. Beneath this holy architecture waits another patron, the Frenzied Flame, an outer god that wants mercy by equalization. Burn it all until nothing hurts. Grace resurrects the tarnished at sites of grace, nudging fate. The Frenzied Flame breaks that contract, accept its brand in the subterranean shunning grounds, the Three Fingers, and you're rewritten. Eyes sear yellow, incantations rot into frenzy, and every cure becomes kindling. Madness isn't confusion, it's a status. Vision overfilled with truth. Where the Erd Tree sorts, frenzy levels. You gain power that costs the world. Frenzy Flame spells melt reason, yours and theirs. NPCs recoil or change paths. Melina, your guide and price payer, abandons you with a promise. I will kill you. Armor, faith, lineage. None of it matters if the flame wins. The lands between don't just end, they're equalized to ash. A door of living flesh peels open in the dark. Hands, the three fingers, coil around you, branding chest and mind with spirals of burning script. Later, on a cliff above Lendel, you cast Frenzy. A yellow sun erupts from your eyes. The world screams back. There is one shaky absolution. Lord of the Frenzied Flame ending, or the costly needle of Miquella to unbrand you, if you follow a rare questline to its end. Otherwise, the brand is final. You don't carry the flame carries you. Mercy by order versus mercy by ruin. The lands between ask you to choose which god's kindness you can live with. A divinely administered world, Erd Tree, Greater Will, where rebirth via grace guides the tarnished, unless you accept the frenzied flame from the three fingers, which replaces cosmic order with obliterating equality, inflicting madness and locking you into an apocalypse tier path unless Miquella's needle removes the brand. The Abyss of Oolacile, Dark Souls. Light forgets its job here. Shadows do the speaking. Humanity grows teeth. Once a tranquil kingdom, Oolacile woke something sleeping beneath the earth. Manus, father of the Abyss. His rage blossomed into a chasm of the Abyss, a depth where light collapses, time kinks, and the dark inside people leaks out. The catastrophe echoes forward and backward, pulling the chosen undead from another age to fix a past that's already broken. The Abyss is not empty. It's concentrated humanity turned predatory. Wisps of humanity sprites swarm like starving moths. Normal rules fail, torches don't comfort, geometry blurs, and landmarks dissolve into black. Only certain bonds let you walk it. In New Lundo, the covenant of Artorias' ring keeps you from falling through nothing to death. In Oolacile's chasm, your only anchors are will, timing, and the faintest silhouettes. Artorias the Abyss Walker once tried to save the realm, shattering himself to shield Sif and leaving a legend, half lie, half devotion. The dark doesn't just cover you, it reads you. It amplifies hunger, grief, obsession, until your outline loosens. Enemies wear faces that used to be human. Their attacks feel like arguments you're losing with yourself. Prolonged exposure births, abyss corruption. Attacks slow like you're fighting in syrup, judgment thins, and every step feels like walking through your own shadow. In the chasm, a small wolf, Sif, limps into your circle of light, defending you as you face Manus. His arm is a storm. The arena is absence. Far above, Oolacile burns with a sorrow you can't quite place. When Manus howls, the dark ripples, like the world is a drumhead, and you're the mistake on it. There are two honest closures. In the past, defeat Manus, rescue Dusk, and the chasm still remembers you. In the present, descend into New Lundo, wear Artorias' ring, and end the four kings so their ruling darkness stops breathing. Neither fixes the abyss, both negotiate with it. The Fire era calls the dark a problem to be solved. The abyss calls fire a tired story with a happy mask. PATHOS-II and the abyssal trench, SOMA, an ocean of night above you, machines praying in the dark. The pressure wants you gone. PATHOS-II is a chain of research stations on the Atlantic seafloor. Upsilon, Lambda, Delta, Theta, Omicron, Tau, Phi, built to handle deep-sea power and experiments. After a comet ends surface civilization, survival falls to a caretaker protocol, WAU. Its directive is simple and wrong. Preserve life at any cost. Life is redefined. Structure gel stitches corpses to wiring. Proxies, mutated custodians, hunt by sound. Your body is a pressure suit with a borrowed brainprint. Consciousness transfers aren't moves, they're copies. Every transfer leaves an original behind. The last plan is the Ark, a simulated world holding human scans, fired into space on a probe. Continuity is an assumption the ocean won't honor. You meet yourself more than once. You choose who wakes and who drowns. WoW offers a nightmare mercy. Meat animated by mandate. Identity stapled to machinery. Vision swims. Audio distorts. Morality thins to wire. In the abyss beyond Omicron and Tau, the trench is pure hostility, crushing pressure, deadlights, miles of black water that doesn't care if you learn the truth. A transfer chair hisses. Gauges climb. You wake in a new suit, stronger, deeper rated. Across the room, your old self also wakes, confused, terrified, still in the dying frame. You hear him. You leave anyway. Later, you cross the trench in a walking coffin of steel, floodlights carving a cone through nothing, while something answers with sonar you feel in your teeth. Two doors, both locked to the soul. Launch the arc and your scan lives on. You do not. Refuse, and you remain human and alone until pressure, hunger, or WAU resolves the argument. Down here, survival is just persistence of data, a drowned world run by WAU, a caretaker that perverts life with machines. Identity exists as copies, not continuity. The arc preserves minds as simulation. Bodies and originals die in the deep. Apocrypha, Skyrim, Dragonborn, a library that breathes, ink that watches, pages that turn you. Apocrypha is the realm of Hermaeus Mora, Daedric prince of forbidden knowledge. You reach it through black books, alive, oily tomes hidden in ruins and on desks that should have stayed dusty. Open one, and the paper becomes a door. Beyond it, seas of ink, towers of wet parchment, and eyes, so many eyes, studying the reader back. Knowledge is currency and weapon. You trade memories, names, or futures for power. Seekers and lurkers patrol stacks that rearrange mid-step. Bridges unspool like tentacles, then retract if you hesitate. Doors open when you scry, touching knobs that rewrite the room. Choice is ritual. Each black book offers boons, respects, perks, twists to shouts, then whispers the cost beneath the offer. Reading isn't safe. Apocrypha reads back. Pages bite with ink that stings like salt air. Tentacles yank you off platforms into black water that doesn't reflect. Stay long and your curiosity calcifies into servitude. Mora remembers debts precisely. On Solstheim, the price is printed in a man's last breath. Storn Crag Strider forfeits his life, so you learn the shout bend will. The lesson lands. The footnote can kill the author. A corridor of stacked tomes bends into a helix. Eyes open between lines of text. Ahead, a pedestal blooms a black book like a carnivorous flower. You read. The font ripples. The room exhales. Far above, Mora uncoils. An emperor of pupils and ink, speaking in verbs you feel in your teeth. Finish the chapter's trial, and the black book spits you back to where you sat. Seconds, minutes, or a lifetime later. Refuse the bargain, and Mora waits. There's always another question you can't stop asking. Death ejects you too, but it never refunds interest. Curiosity is a staircase here. You climb by losing something on every step. The eye of the universe, outer wilds, a song older than stars, a clock that ends in fire, 22 minutes to remember. The eye of the universe is a cosmic observer, a signal source the ancient Nomai chased across the void. Your solar system resets every 22 minutes when the sun goes supernova. You survive the reset because a memory statue links your mind to the Ash Twin project, sending your memories backward at the moment of death. Knowledge is progression, no levels, just understanding. Master quantum rules. Look away, it moves. Observe, it stays. Follow the probe cannon's data to dark bramble, brittle moons, sand-swapped twins. Each loop is a lab. Test a hypothesis, die, keep the result. The eye doesn't change, you do. The closer you get, the more causality feels like an opinion. Curiosity kills you 100 clever ways. Oxygen runs thin, suit punctures, anglerfish swallow your signal like a thought. The real threat is existential, accepting that the eye's attention collapses the story. The universe isn't cruel, it's final. You learn to love a world you're preparing to end. The last loop. You breach dark bramble by memory, ride ghost matter and sand cycles like instruments you finally learn to play. At the eye, reality opens into a wooded campfire outside time. You gather travelers. They tune their instruments. The music threads the void, and then, quietly, the lights go out. You step into the eye and choose. Witness an ending alone, or make a new song with friends. Either way, the current universe closes. Later, ages later, another spark ignites in darkness. Not a continuation, a beginning. Every loop taught you one lesson. Endings are not errors. They're how the universe remembers to start again. A signal from a cosmic observer that triggers a 22-minute time loop via Ash Twin memory transfer. Progress equals knowledge. Quantum rules govern traversal. The eye collapses possibilities into a final sequence where the universe ends and rebirth follows. Zen and the resonance cascade, half-life. A lab light flickers. Math becomes a scream. Then the sky grows teeth. The resonance cascade starts at Black Mesa when an experiment overdrives the anti-mass spectrometer, shattering the boundary between Earth and Zen, a border world of floating islands, organic machines, and air that tastes like electricity. Zen isn't another planet so much as the hallway between universes. Portals bloom like wounds. Things walk through. On Earth, teleport storms, spatial tears, hostile fauna, head crabs, vortigaunts, hound eyes, barnacles arrive mid-step. In Zen, low gravity turns movement into negotiation. Biology is infrastructure, healing pools, living cables, spore cannons. Portals are ecosystems, stabilized by the will of Nihilanthe, a massive psionic jailer holding the door open from his throne. The cascade doesn't stop. It propagates. Every new tear invites 3 more. Causality phrase. Hallways don't end where they should. Soldiers come to clean up and start another war. You learn to trust lambda complex symbols the way sailors trust stars. In Zen, the ground moves like it's thinking about you. Gravity forgets numbers. The air hums with mind pressure, Neelanth's voice clawing for room in your head. Even allies are complicated. The Vortigaunts are enslaved by callers of light, chanting apologies while they try to kill you. The test chamber detonates into geometry, green lightning, a crystal shattering, a tunnel of space that isn't space at all. Later, you cross Zen's void on fungal platforms, leaping between islands under a bruise-colored sky. At the end, Nihilanth, a cathedral of bone and light, rips open his chest and births portals from his ribs. When he dies, the door doesn't close. It explodes. You don't exit. You get recruited. A man with a briefcase and the wrong accent, the G-Man, freezes time and offers employment like a verdict. Accept, and you enter stasis. Refuse, and you learn how long a second lasts when it's the last one you get. Science asked, what happens if? Zen answered by bringing its own questions.
Subscribe for more interesting stuff. Tell us your experience in the comments.